If there is one name in the Bible that evokes manipulation, idolatry, and a spectacular downfall, that name is Jezebel. This queen, wife of King Ahab, not only brought the worship of Baal to the kingdom of Israel, but also orchestrated terrible injustices, such as the murder of Naboth to seize his vineyard. She seemed untouchable, powerful, above any judgment. But can anyone challenge God and go unpunished? Jezebel's story is a chilling reminder of how corrupted power can lead to ruin. Her influence extended beyond the throne, leading an entire nation into idolatry and away from the true God. But as with everything built on injustice and betrayal, her reign would not last forever. The prophecy against her was clear: her death would not be ordinary, and her body would not even receive an honorable burial. Fate awaited her, and it came in a way that no one could have imagined. If you think biblical stories are monotonous, get ready for a plot twist worthy of an epic script. In this video, you will discover how Jezebel met one of the most shocking ends in the Bible, with details proving that divine judgment never fails. Who was responsible for her downfall? What happened in the final moments of the queen who defied God? Stay with me until the end, because this story holds powerful lessons about justice, idolatry, and the price of challenging divine authority. You will see that the Bible is not just an ancient book, it carries timeless warnings that still resonate today. Now, let's dive into the journey of this ruthless queen and understand how her choices led to her tragic end. Jezebel was not just any queen, she was a ruthless strategist determined to change the course of the kingdom of Israel. The daughter of Ethbaal, king of the Sidonians, she grew up amidst the worship of Baal and carried this devotion with her when she married Ahab. But her influence went far beyond personal religious practices. She imposed idolatry on the entire nation. Altars were built, prophets of the Lord were persecuted, and the worship of the true God began to disappear amidst pagan rituals. Her impact was so devastating that to this day, her name is synonymous with manipulation and spiritual corruption. But Jezebel was not satisfied with merely promoting Baal. She wanted to eliminate any opposition. The prophet Elijah, one of the few who dared to confront her, witnessed her fury when he challenged the prophets of Baal on Mount Carmel. There, before the entire nation, God demonstrated his power by consuming Elijah's sacrifice with fire, while Baal remained silent. The humiliation was immense, but Jezebel did not back down. On the contrary, she swore vengeance against Elijah, forcing him to flee for his life. This episode reveals not only the depth of her influence, but also her refusal to acknowledge the truth, even in the face of undeniable miracles. If Jezebel already seemed dangerous in manipulating religion, her power became even more evident in politics. Ahab, her husband, might have been a weaker king, but under her influence, he became a corrupt and unjust ruler. The most emblematic case of this perversion was Naboth's vineyard. Jezebel saw her husband dejected for not getting the land he wanted, and without hesitation, she devised a Machiavellian plan to eliminate Naboth. Using manipulation and false witnesses, she decreed the death of an innocent man just to satisfy the king's whim. This event was the last straw that brought God's wrath upon her and her household. And here we reach the most concerning point. Jezebel was not just an evil woman, but a symbol of what happens when power is corrupted by idolatry and injustice. The kingdom of Israel, once guided by the principles of the Lord, plunged into spiritual darkness under her leadership. Her influence spread so deeply that its effects were felt for generations. And as we know, God never ignores a nation that strays from the truth. When divine judgment is delayed, it does not mean it has been canceled. But what would be the fate of a queen who believed herself untouchable? The prophet Elijah did not remain silent in the face of such wickedness. He brought forth a prophecy that would seal Jezebel's future, and it was grim. Her death would not be honorable, her memory would be erased, and her end would be marked in history as a warning to those who choose idolatry and corruption. What Elijah prophesied was only the beginning of a terrifying outcome. Evil may seem to prosper for a time, but divine justice never fails. Jezebel thought her influence was unbeatable and that she could manipulate the kingdom of Israel without consequences. However, God raised up a man to announce her fate. The prophet Elijah, always bold and faithful, received a clear revelation about the judgment reserved for Jezebel and her her household. He proclaimed that the queen would meet a tragic, unworthy, and humiliating end, something unthinkable for someone who saw herself as untouchable. The prophecy was not just about Jezebel, but about Ahab's entire lineage, a reminder that sin can bring destruction not only to an individual, but to an entire generation. The catalyst for this condemnation was the case of Naboth's vineyard. When Jezebel orchestrated the death of this innocent man just to fulfill Ahab's desire, she crossed a line that God would not overlook. Elijah's prophecy was direct. Just as the dogs had licked Naboth's blood, they would do the same with Ahab's. And Jezebel? Her body would not receive an honorable burial. The dogs would devour her flesh, and no one would remember her with honor. These words were heavy but carried a clear message. God does not remain silent in the face of injustice, and he himself would execute judgment on the wicked. Ahab, upon hearing this sentence, was terrified. He even humbled himself before God, wearing sackcloth and fasting. Because of this momentary repentance, God decided to postpone full punishment to the days of his descendants. However, Jezebel showed no change of heart. On the contrary, she continued to rule with an iron fist, promoting the worship of Baal and manipulating events behind the scenes of the kingdom. Her arrogance blinded her to the fact that the prophecy was not an empty threat, it was a sentence already decreed. Time passed, but judgment did not fail. Many may think that if God's justice does not manifest immediately, it will never come. But Jezebel's story proves otherwise. The word of the Lord, announced by Elijah, continued to echo into the future, waiting for the right moment to be fulfilled. And when that moment arrived, it was so dramatic that no one could doubt that God was in control. But how would this prophecy be fulfilled? Who would be the instrument of God to execute this sentence? Here, a new character enters the story, a man chosen to end Ahab's lineage and bring justice upon Jezebel. His name? Jehu, and his mission? The most relentless Israel had ever seen. When God decides to act, he leaves nothing unfinished. The prophetic condemnation of Jezebel and Ahab's house would not remain mere words from Elijah. Someone had to carry it out. That man was Jehu, a fearless military commander chosen to execute divine justice. Anointed by a prophet sent by Elisha, Jehu received a clear mission to exterminate Ahab's descendants, destroy Baal worship, and eliminate Jezebel once and for all. His rise to the throne would not happen peacefully, would be an unstoppable instrument of divine judgment. What happened next was a shocking fulfillment of prophecy, proving that no one, no matter how powerful they seem, can escape divine justice. Jezebel's fate was sealed, and her name became a lasting warning. The success built on injustice never lasts, and those who challenge God will inevitably face the consequences. If this content resonated with you, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and activate notifications so you don't miss more videos like this. Share this message with someone who needs to hear this truth. Let's learn from the mistakes of the past and build a future of wisdom and purpose together.